I wear these blue light blocking glasses, and I really don't know what they do. I just know that blue light's not good for your eyes. So could you tell me more about how these work and how it affects your eye health?
So yeah, blue light is something that we're exposed to way too much now, right? So we're always looking at our screens, phones, even kids are looking at, iPads all day, and our bodies just were never exposed to that naturally. So this is just a new stressor that's happening. So the blue light glasses are great because it's giving you a barrier between that man-made light, that unnatural lighting, right, and your eyes. Because as you get too much of it, it just creates oxidative stress and creates damage within the eyes via free radicals. So it's creating more free radicals in your eyes, which again over time those can cause floaters. Those can cause the free radicals and oxidative stress over time can even cause cataracts or glaucoma depending on the person. So it's really just a barrier between that and the blue light. It's just not a natural lighting, whereas like a more of a red light, a red hue is something that's closer to what the sun would give us, right? Back in old days where it's like that's the only light we have, or a candle light is something that's more natural from a fire. That's something we evolved with. Where blue light, it's just not natural to us, so that's where it's causing most of the damage.
Okay. Does blue light have any effect on like your sleep health as well?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm glad you asked that because the blue light is making your brain think that it's early in the day, right? So it's making so even when you're on your phone late at night, that blue light is signaling to your brain not to create melatonin because it thinks it's earlier in the day. So like you need to be awake, you need to have things you have things to do or whatever, right? So as it suppresses your melatonin, it makes it harder for you to go to sleep at night. I think a study showed that for every hour before you try to go to sleep that you're on your phone or on watching TV, that it causes you to delay your sleep by 30 minutes. So for every hour, up to your bedtime, if you were on your phone for 4 hours, that's 2 hours it's going to take you to fall asleep, where it would have been, people usually tend to fall asleep between 35 minutes and 30 minutes.
So you suggesting to pretty much like cut off your screen time a couple hours before you go to sleep?
I would suggest to cut off the screen time at least 2 hours before you go to sleep. If not, you're entrepreneur, you work late, I get it. Blue light blocking glasses for sure will help.
Works for me. Are there specific exercises that we could do to make our vision stronger?
Definitely. So here are 3 different exercises that I really like to do to help strengthen my vision. The first one is pretty simple. You can get a pen or a pencil and just hold it out in front of your hand, or even just use your finger, and you want to focus on the tip of your finger and not move your head, and just follow your finger with your eyes, right? Back and forth, all the way to the right, all the way to the left, and even up and down. And you do this for, you could do 10 repetitions both ways and up and down. That's the first one. Really helps to focus. And then the next one is like what I like to call eye push-ups, right? So you cover one eye and then you put one finger right in front of this eye and you really focus on your finger to where you can see it nice and clear. And then look at it for about 2 seconds, and then you want to take it away and look at something further into the distance and focus on that for another 3 to 5 seconds, and then bring it back. So what you're doing there is you're training your eye to work in a close proximity, right? And then focus in a further at a distance, right? So it's going back and forth, really train it. So you do that on both eyes, 3 to 5 reps. That could take 2 to 5 minutes a day. It's really simple. And another one is just kind of stretching, where you're just looking up, to the left, to the right, to the bottom, and you're just kind of making a big circle, but you want to pause at each side, and you're really just kind of stretching it out, and then you go the opposite way. And we don't tend to use all of our eyes in that way, right? We don't ever look all the way to the left and use our peripherals like that. So it's good to stretch it out, get the lymphatic of the eyes, the glymphatic, which is the lymphatic system of the brain, get that moving to flush out toxins, to flush out fluid. You don't want stagnant fluid in your eyes, and that can really help reduce oxidative stress and free radicals just naturally, just by doing these exercises a few minutes a day.
That makes sense. So it's interesting that you pretty much like say your eyes are a muscle, right? So just as we got to strength train our legs and arms and stuff like that, you have to train your eyes too. That's interesting. I never heard that point.
Your eyes are really just an extension of your brain. So it has muscle tissues similar to muscle within the eyes, right? And that's what helps the lens focus and unfocus and do different things in that nature. But yeah, it's really, your eyes are a part of your brain. So when you're eating stuff, and just think your brain is such a hungry organ. It eats
nutrients.
You eat, however many calories you eat through the day or whatever, your brain is consuming most of it. Your brain's taking up like 25% of the calories you intake.
Wow.
Is going straight to brain power.
Wow, that's interesting. I did not know that. I did not know that at all.
And even more of the sugar. So like whenever you're going on a binge and eating a bunch of candy and stuff, like all that's going straight to your brain. And if you're doing it in excess, like that's where you can really come to problems with your eyes, because all that sugar can get backed up into your eyes. And that's when things like the Jimerito Honey can come into play, because it activates your tear ducts and helps to release some of that excess mucus from behind your eyes. And it really can help improve your vision. That's why a lot of people see a difference really quickly when they start using it, because of the detoxifications of the eyes, where it's releasing the mucus, releasing the toxins that's been backed up. And, again, with those, even just the stretching, the one exercise you really should do every morning is the stretching of the eyes, and just help that fluid movement, right? You release all those built up fluids that just sit around. Like, you got to keep it moving.
It's like going on a morning walk for your eyes.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
That's crazy. I've never heard that point right there. That's very interesting. Yeah. So what role does diet play in maintaining eye health?
So it's really just about staying away from foods that cause inflammation and eating foods that are nutrient dense in polyphenols and antioxidants, right? So the main antioxidants that are going to be great for your eye health are going to be lutein, zeaxanthin, astaxanthin, and these are things you can get from fatty fish, like and omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are really what the fatty acids that make up most of your brain matter, and your eyes are really just a part of your brain. Eating a lot of nutrient-dense things like that will reduce inflammation, reduce oxidative stress, and keep your eyes nice and healthy.
Okay. Omega-3s, I know that's like a buzzword right now. You can find a lot of omega-3s on like eggs, right?
Yeah, there is omega-3s in eggs, that really the egg yolk.
Okay.
I know like a lot of conventional wisdom will tell you that to eat the egg whites and not the yolks because of the cholesterol. Okay. But really, like, a lot of that vitamins and good nutrients is in the egg yolk. So yeah, eggs is good, and fish eggs, okay, caviar and roe.
I'm glad you said that about the eggs, because I actually have been eating a lot of liquid egg whites and like keeping the egg yolk aside. So I'm glad you said it. So I'm definitely gonna introduce that back into my diet.
I mean, it is cholesterol, right? But they really haven't told us the whole truth about cholesterol, right? So it's not taking away cholesterol from our diet. It's going to take away cholesterol in your body, of course. But what you really need cholesterol for in your body is to build hormones. Okay. So like, having healthy levels of testosterone as a man, like, you need some cholesterol, you need some saturated fat to be able to produce testosterone.
So is there like good and bad cholesterol, or is that more about keeping it balanced?
It's more about keeping it balanced. HDL and LDL, LDL gets the claim for the bad cholesterol, right? But it's really just about keeping it balanced and not overdoing it. Okay. And just if you're getting it from healthy sources as well, right? So obviously, like, there's going to be healthier sources, whereas, pig fat or fat from a lamb it's a big difference, and it's really from omega-6 to omega-3. So if you're staying more towards a grass-fed animal or an animal that was naturally raised, it's going to have a higher content of omega-3s rather than omega-6. Omega-6 fat can be high inflammatory. Not that it's bad, right? But if you have too much, it can cause inflammation.
That makes sense. Are there any biohacking techniques for optimizing eyesight?
Yeah, definitely. Red light, cold exposure, and fasting. Fasting is really one of the best things you can do for your overall health, right? Gives your body time to detox and remove free radicals and excess waste from cells. And cold exposure really does that too. It fights off free radicals in the body, which can help, reduce that oxidative stress within your eyes. Same with red light, and red light is actually really good for your eyes. There are some studies showing that if you read for about 10 minutes a day with a red light on, it can actually improve your vision. So those are the 3 things I would definitely recommend.
So is there any specific red lights? Do you just grab any red bulb, or is there any specific red lights that you suggest?
That's a great question. You can get it off Amazon. Really, any red light or near infrared light. So it's going to be the near infrared is probably like 850 nm, and the red light would be like 650, 660 nm. And those are like optimal for any kind of red light therapy, whether it be for your eye health. It can help with collagen production in your skin, helps your mitochondrial production, can really help with cellular energy, so you can kind of have more energy when you are doing the red light and even after. But those are the ones, and you can get them off Amazon. You can get them anywhere.
And do you have to have a specific lamp for that, or you just plug it into any?
So they actually have like bulbs where it's like a incandescent red light, and that's probably just like a red light that's probably like 660 nm. And those are really good to like switch out at night, or in your bathroom or by your bedside at night. But if you want to do like red light therapy, I would get like a panel. Okay. And they have like the near infrared light, and they even have a mixed with red light and near infrared light, and you can get a panel, and you can put that like in your bathroom or even just in your room, and kind of like do that for like red light therapy.
How is eye health connected to overall longevity?
So your eyes being a part of your brain can kind of give you a reflection of what's going on in your brain, right? So if you have really, great vision, or things aren't deteriorating at a rapid pace, then you're probably on par to age at a graceful rate. Whereas if you're starting to, see some floaters, or if you're having some, eye issues, that could be signs of, neurological health down the line. So it's really just a reflection of your brain health and the vascular system.
What are some early warning signs that indicate deeper issues through the eyes?
So if you're having sudden changes in your vision, like drastically, if you have dry eyes or a lot of floaters all of a sudden, this could be an indication of high blood pressure, or neurological issues, or even diabetes. So it's really crazy how a lot of everything is connected, right? So when there's something going on anywhere in your body, like, it's going to have effects on your entire nervous system as a whole.
How do oxidative stress and inflammation contribute to vision loss?
So they can damage your retina and your lens. So the retina is kind of what's going to attach to the lens, and the lens is, obviously right over the eye, the iris. So when those can get damaged, it can cause, cataracts and glaucoma down the line as well, if you have, too much oxidative stress and free radicals. So those are kind of some of the ways that could really affect your eyes.
What roles do genetics play in eye health?
This is a great question. A lot of people blame genetics on most health issues. Your genetics are not your destiny, right? You have power over your gene expression.
That's a bar.
So what you eat, how you detox, your lifestyle, all influence the way your genes are expressed. And a lot of us have similar expressions to our parents because we live similar lifestyles to our parents and their parents, right? So that's why we have similar outcomes. But if somebody were to change their lifestyle, and change, their eating habits and even their thoughts, right? Your thoughts have an influence on how your genes are expressed. So that's why I'm so big on positivity and positive thinking, because that can really help shape the way your genes are expressed. So it's really about getting nutrients, living a healthy lifestyle, exuding what you want to be reality to help express the genes that you want to show, right? So your genes is really just a baseline. I mean, I'm not going to say it has zero factor, right? Because it is you that is, you have the genes that you have, but you can change the way they're expressed. So it's really just a baseline.
Can you say that one line at the beginning, as you said again? Your genetics are
not your destiny,
That's
right?
a bar.
You have the power to change the way your genes are expressed.
I like that.
For sure.
What are some advancements in eye care and vision restoration?
So this is, for my opinion, right? So this is more of my opinion. The eye care industry it's very tainted, right? It's very big pharma-esque. They want to keep you coming back for more profits, more prescriptions, and they're not really giving great solutions. LASIK would seem to be something that's great, right? There's a lot of people, and it's not out there, but there are some people on social media that are starting to speak up about this that have like really bad outcomes with LASIK, and it kind of, makes them go on disability for a few years, right? Like some people lose their eyesight completely, other people lose 80%, 50 to 80% of their eyesight with LASIK. So it's really risky doing things like that. And I know a lot of people try to go to like Mexico and get it for cheap. And even then, it only lasts for like 7 years. And then you got to go back and your vision goes back. So it's really about taking the holistic route, not trying to take these shortcuts and retrain your eyes, right? So from my end, the biggest thing is really learning how to train your eyes through those eye exercises we talked about, transitioning your diet into something that's going to feed the cells in your body properly and reduce free radicals and inflammation, and even utilizing something like Jimerito Honey that can provide your eyes with a great detox with the enzymes and a high level of polyphenols and amino acids to help repair damaged tissues if you have that. So really taking the holistic approach is something that I would do, and that's kind of my opinion. There are people who have had success with doing surgeries and things like that for their eyes, but that's probably not something that I'm into or I wouldn't recommend.
So you're saying LASIK is pretty much like a cover up, and then, obviously training your eye to be stronger is more of like preventing and making it stronger.
What LASIK is they take a laser, right? And they bend the lens of your eye, right? So it focuses, it looks like you're seeing 20/20. So they're taking a laser and reshaping your eye. Instead, I would try to strengthen your eye naturally. Because it might take months, years to really start to see a difference. I've seen people do it in a short period of time. And if you have a lot of money, there are people out there who offer services where you can literally do an eye training. You can go to somebody and they'll like you'll be training for hours for a week, every day for like, it's like a personal trainer, and it costs like $15K, but they'll get you damn near to 20/20 in a week.
Wow.
Right? So it's possible. It's not like this is impossible, but it takes dedication, it takes discipline, and somebody who's really committed to that. And if you're going to pay $15,000, somebody would be like, well, I could pay half of that and go get LASIK.
Yeah.
Even probably less. Years. LASIK's probably even less than that, right? Less than half. But it only lasts 7 years, and then there's, I'll encourage you all to go look up LASIK. LASIK. you know,
the bad stories.
Yeah, bad stories about LASIK, man. I mean, you just think it's a laser, right? So
that right there is like
to me that's scary.
Yeah,
that's scary.
That's scary. Right
and
there.
You think about a laser. They say tattoo removal with lasers, right? They do that with lasers. It's more painful than the tattoo itself. I mean, you don't. From what I've heard, you don't really feel when you do it on your eye. I don't know if they have some kind of, way they numb it or mask the pain for it, but it's not the route I would go.
Right.
When there are alternative solutions, doing the eye exercises we talked about, consistently over time could help your eyes for sure. Potentially, right? But I can almost guarantee that it's going to slow down the process of deterioration of vision. Just doing the eye exercises will slow down the process of the aging of your eyes.
That makes sense. How effective are eye drop supplements and therapies like red light therapy for your eyes?
Red light therapy is extremely beneficial for your eyes as long as you be careful. I wouldn't do near infrared light for your eyes, just red light, that 660 nm. You don't want to, because too much could be damaging. Just like they say, looking at the sun could be damaging. And that's why, that's like the UV index is low when the sun is rising or setting, because it has the density of the atmosphere blocking it, right? So that's why they say you should view the sun at sunrise or sunset when the UV index is lower, so it decreases the risk of damage to your eyes, right? So red light's great. Red light is awesome. Eye drops, you got to be careful with some eye drops because they can be habit forming, or not necessarily like you're going to get addicted to them, but you could have to end up relying on them. Right. So we don't want to be reliant on something, right? That's why the Jimerito honey is a great option, because it's just all natural honey. And for a lot of people use the eye drops for dry eye. Dry eye is a big thing. But this will activate your tear ducts. And like we talked about earlier, it helps to remove mucus from within the eyes. So the mucus from whether it be too much processed food and processed sugar getting backed up in your tear ducts, it can help remove that. And then your eyes will be producing lubrication naturally. So it does sting on application, right? When you put the honey in your eye, it's going to sting, but that's the enzymes activating your tear ducts and helping to remove that excess mucus that's going to let the lymphatic fluid and the natural lubrication of your eyes flow. So yeah, you want to be careful with certain kind of eye drops, but the Jimerito is a great option because you probably only need it twice a week for something like dry eye, and you can feel those lasting effects over a period of time, where as far as some other eye drops, you probably need them every single day, even multiple times a day.
Right. So going back to the eye stinging, right? I know that's something that I've experienced myself. So you're pretty much saying if it's stinging, it's working.
For the honey eye drops, absolutely. For Jimerito honey, when it's stinging, that's working. It's stimulating your tear ducts. That's the enzymes helping to start the process to clear out the mucus from within your eyes.
So it stings good. It's like a good sting.
It's a good sting. It's a good sting for sure.
How does hydration and detoxing impact eye health?
So being properly hydrated can prevent dry eye syndrome. So hydration is really not just about drinking water, as we all know now. It's real popular, H3O2 rather than H2O, whether that be eating fresh organic fruits, being able to watery fruits, watermelon, grapes, things like that can really help you be hydrated, or just adding electrolytes to your water, some sodium, magnesium, potassium, just so the water can actually penetrate your cells, so your cells can actually absorb the water. So that can really be beneficial for your eyes, keeping that natural lubrication. So for detoxing, heavy metals is something that can really impact eye health. over time. It can contribute to macular degeneration, cataracts, and glaucoma. So detoxing heavy metals is huge. It's another reason why fasting is great for your eyes, because fasting allows your body to detox these excess chemicals and metals out of the body. Takes your body into autophagy, where your cells, remove cellular waste and really enhance the detoxing. So even like whether you're using like chlorella, spirulina, we have detoxing supplements at Green, soursop. These things help to chelate heavy metals, which just means they are binders. They help to bind up those heavy metals throughout the digestive tract and in the body and help them to be eliminated.
So does a Jimerito Honey, does that directly affect how hydrated your eyes are?
Yes, it does, by the way of detoxing, right? Okay. So how Jimerito lubricates your eyes is it stimulates your eyes to naturally lubricate, right? That's why when you put them in and it stings and you're like crying, it's like automatically activating your tear ducts, and it removes that mucus. It helps to move the mucus from within your eyes to clear out your tear ducts, helping your eyes to naturally be lubricated. So then it's a natural lubrication, and it's not like artificial tears. That's another thing on the market that's really big, and it works for people because they have to use it multiple times to they're artificial. It's what it's called, right? It's artificial tears, whereas Jimerito Honey helps you create your natural tears.
That makes sense. So I feel like this could be life-changing for any listeners that are dealing with eye problems.
Yeah, so we want to just spread the knowledge of eye health and holistic eye care. And, that's why we want to give your listeners a discount. If they go to green.com, they can get their first bottle for 20% off. Just use the code podcast.